Tant que nous parlons de Yola, on a parlé de bois biassou, on a parlé de papillon, and on a parlé de Vénère. So this letter gives us a different perspective, okay? So this, now I want to talk about the historical background of the letter, so we have a sense of where did that letter come from? Is it a fake letter? It's not. Okay, now, the letter was written in July 1792. Okay? Now, the Haitian Revolution began in August 1791. Okay? So we're talking about a year later, very nothing period law, right? From 1791 to 1803. The memo was directed to three key entities, right? The French Assembly General, the National Commissioner, and the citizen of the colony. In fact, this is the original language. Il dit comme ça, lettre originale des chefs des nègres révoltés à l'Assemblée Générale, aux commissaires nationaux et aux citoyens de la partie française du Saint-Domingue du mois de juillet 1792. This well-eloquent document represents the most exhaustive statement of the specific demands of the slave population at Saint-Domingue. I call that an organized will. That is, the slaves make the bold assertion of their natural right for general liberty. Un idéal très précis. The assembly, the French assembly, would have to confront the demands of that letter. First, the letter attacks the very foundation of the colonial order. Okay, colonialism and slavery as an institution work together, and it's predicated upon the theoretical ideas of fundamental human right to freedom and liberty and principles of justice and human equality. So I'm not going to read the letter to you since you have it, okay? So you can read it on your own. So its authors demonstrate their incredible knowledge of the dominant political theories of the West. And they also demonstrate their understanding of French government politics. They do that in the most sophisticated manner. The letter is, just give me 1 second. The letter was first discovered by a French scholar named Nathalie Piquin in 1998. However, the letter itself était publié le 9 février 1793 dans un journal parisien, il appelé Le Créole Patriote, par un journaliste et puis un colonialiste, le monsieur Michel Claude Louis Milcin de Musée. He was born in Saint-Domingue in 1740. So, Milcin, c'était un actif participant dans différentes insurrections qui étaient faites dans Saint-Domingue. En fait, what we know about Milcin, he was a revolutionary, okay? He was associated with the Maroons movement in Haiti. Even before, we're talking about before the French Revolution, 1789. Okay? I mean, in several of my works, I have argued that the Haitian Revolution really did not start in 1791. Officiellement, you redirect the chronology of the Haitian Revolution pour qu'à mettre en bas the French Revolution. Now, 1789, si vous regardez François Macandal, hein, qui commençait bien bonheur 1757, qui tue over like 5,000 to 6,000 blancs dans la colonie. Okay? We're talking about like almost 30 something years before the French Revolution of 1789. C'est que, whatever you want to call it, if you want to call it a proto-revolutionary era, that's your problem. But if you want to redirect or re-understand the chronology of the revolution, or of the Haitian Revolution, we have to begin with François Macandal, which is often, undermined in Haitian revolutionary studies by Western and American historians. You often have a bonne theory to undermine his contributions. So, what happens? 1100 left Saint-Domingue for France on July 28, 1791. So it is uncertain how 1100 received the letter, which he shortly made known in less than a year to a European audience, when revolutionary France was still in the nascent process of national recovery from her tragic revolution. So nonetheless, comme un journalist, he knew about the letter. He also knew who have written it. And he fought ensemble avec the general masses in Haiti. So the truth remains that 1100 owned a personal copy of that letter, while freedom talks occupied the intellectual process of revolutionary slaves in the island of Saint-Domingue. Now, let's go a little bit further, because I don't want to take trop de temps là. So, the letter itself was penned by a communauté nègre révolté. 3 insurgent leaders, Jean-François Papillon, Georges Biassou, and Charles Belair, who were the leading successors, right, of Dr. Boukman. Nous connaissons Dr. Boukman, officiellement parlant, commencé la révolution haïtienne dans le mois d'août 1791. Now, those gentlemen were favored by the masses. They were the most, this is before Toussaint Louverture, okay? Even before Dessalines, the founding father of the Haitian nation. From this side, then this Dr. Bocoma content aussi Pascal there. And this is the reality, this side is the father. Without this island, we have no Haiti. Okay, so they were the most influential leaders in the Northern Plain. Au Cap, where I'm from. Shout out to Capois. So they were also present at the August 1791 meeting at Guacaima. Tradition tells us that Jean-François was an intelligent slave and became a maroon before the revolution. Biassou was known to be an ambitious man. This dude loved women. He did. Being the general leader of the rebel army, he was Biassou first qui était trained to Toussaint Louverture. You know that? He was Biassou. En fait que Biassou encadrait Toussaint. C'est Biassou qui était chef. Toussaint était en bas. Then in 1794, Toussaint fait sa nouvelle de volte-face, Jean David Gegges relay là. Okay, a revolutionary volte-face in Haitian studies. Now, Belair was an intelligent young man and Louverture's nephew by blood or by peut-être adoption. Belair was probably 19 years old in 1792. Like a signature monsieur appeared on that letter, which means he would have been 23 years old in 1801. À la même période que Napoléon Bonaparte, il commande des soldats français pour capable prendre Toussaint Louverture, Belair's uncle, right? Et monsieur mourit en pile fouettis dans fort de jour. However, a careful reading of the letter shows clearly that the African slaves in Saint Domingue exhibited both intellectually and practically an early conviction for their freedom because of what? Of the fundamental beliefs that black people were human beings equal in essence and value, and that no man should be enslaved by another, and that their commitment for independence was with them from the beginning. I have the English translation, but I'm not going to read it. The letter should be understood as a rhetoric of protest. The thrust of this document is the radical demands of general liberty for all black slaves in the colony, and equally the uncompromising affirmation of their humanity and equality with the civilized French. As a rhetoric of resistance, the letter responds militantly to oppression and racial slavery and the injustices of the colonial order. Now, listen to this, what they say. Avez-vous oublié, formellement juré, la Déclaration des droits de l'homme qui dit que les hommes naissent libres et égaux en droit et que les droits naturels sont la liberté, la propriété, la sûreté, la résistance à l'oppression? Have you forgotten that you have formerly vowed? Now, you know, they're writing to the French Assembly. I'm talking about the highest court in France, qui fait loi. Okay? That the Declaration of the Rights of Man, which says that men and women are born free, equal in their rights, that the natural rights include liberty, property, security, and resistance to oppression. So the clear objective of the letter was to influence the French Assembly, the legislative and the constituent, to take a decisive course of action which the senders effortlessly laid out in precise terms. Trois demandes qui sont très importantes. Si que nous qui ne peut pas dans la présentation, ça c'est ça que nous voulons que nous songions, ok? Trois demandes qui dans la dernière page l'étape que nous. Here are they. What they're asking: the general, number one, the general liberty for all men detained in slavery. Number two, the general amnesty for the past. And number three, the guarantee of Articles 1 and 2 and other principles of justice assumed in the letter. La liberté générale de tous les hommes détenus dans l'esclavage, numéro 1. Numéro 2, l'amnistie générale pour le passé et la garantie de ces articles. Now, 5 questions, the 5 questions that are very important. Those questions form a dialectic progression. First, quelle est cette loi qui dit que l'homme noir doit appartenir et être, ça c'est ma ligne originale là, c'est ça réutilisé, une propriété à l'homme blanc? What is the law that says that the black man must belong to and be the property of the white man? So this particular rhetoric calls for a public debate. And il y anticipait réponse ça. Yes, our skin color is black, but we are your equals and ought to be free like you. Monsieur, qui prétendez-vous nous assujettir à l'esclavage? N'avez-vous pas juré de maintenir la Constitution française dont vous êtes membre? You gentlemen, who pretend to subject us to slavery, have you not sworn to uphold the French Constitution of which you are members? The third question is in a form of rhetoric, what I call rhetoric of intimidation. It follows a logical sequence. Quelle est cette respectable constitution? What does it say, this respectable constitution? So I'm going to conclude right now, taking too much time. The imperatives of human ontological equality, life, liberty, and resistance to oppression embedded in this letter exhibit in the most emphatic language the popular conviction and the demands of the unfree slave population. It is evident that the slave masses judged that these rights which the French Declaration triumphed must be extended to them as individual and as a collective group. In summary, the letter montrait que esclavio, at least in writing, in 1792, okay, that dès le commencement, non seulement qu'il y a eu un drive désir pour freedom, non seulement freedom pour cultiver la terre, on peut l'historien a dit ça. Ça sont mastery. Ça ne veut pas juste vouloir cultiver la terre. They wanted to be free, totally free. Ça nous est l'émancipation générale. And they also wanted independence. En fait que l'idée indépendance ça, we trace it back to Makanda. Okay? Qui dit comme ça, the Africans will be the masters of the island. And finally, this letter is one of the few documents that establishes the intellectual context of the Haitian Revolution, which en pile historien contemporain américain français you deny, parce que you prend toutes les vues comme des sortes. Thank you very much.
Alors, merci, Dr. Lucien Joseph, pour la présentation. On applaudit encore une fois, s'il vous plaît. And now we're ready for the next presenter, who is, I don't have much about you, Dr. Pascal Robert, but I'm sure you're going to be able to introduce yourself properly. So let's welcome Dr. Pascal Robert, s'il vous plaît.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Bon après-midi. Mon frère et sœurs haïtiens. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm actually not a PhD as of yet. Trained as an attorney and a lawyer. I practiced real estate in South Florida for several years, mostly in the Haitian community. And then after the subprime mortgage crisis, I turned my efforts to becoming a writer, essayist, and political commentator. I write for the African-American publication called Black Agenda Report, which is the bastion of the radical left politics in the United States. I'm sure many of you have heard of it. My presentation today is about something that's very important to me as one who was born in the diaspora of the Haitian community. My presentation today is what is the significance of Haitian history to the African American. The significance of this presentation is basically based on a personal experience that I had growing up in the United States. I came from parents who were very well educated in Haiti, who came to the United States in the mid to late 60s. They ensured, a very good quality of life, a good private Catholic education, all of the accoutrements that were necessary for me to live. But they did not mention or infuse any understanding of Haitian history. I had a firm understanding of the Haitian cultural context. I went to a Catholic school that had a large Haitian population. I ate Haitian food. I had an understanding of what my people were in terms of their behaviors and norms, but I had no understanding whatsoever of the actual historical significance of Haiti. Though, because of the politics of my paternal family, who had a very radical internationalist vision, Pan-Africanist vision, I had a foundation in a bit of a Marxist analysis. I had two uncles who had studied in the Soviet Union. So my class analysis of white supremacy, capitalism, and imperialism was sharp. But none of this was rooted in any connection to the history of Haiti or the Haitian Revolution. What this caused in me is something that was a phenomenon that many Haitian children experienced in the United States. It allowed me and many of us to become victims of taunting and name-calling and assaults, verbally and sometimes physically, by American students in general and African-American students to make us feel ashamed of our Haitian identity because they have equated our identity with poverty. There's all kinds of pejoratives, African booty scratcher, Frenchie, so on and so forth, coconut head, all of these things that we were called. So it leaves many of our children with a sense of emptiness, a void, intellectually, if you will, in terms of understanding who they are. Secondly, my interest in this presentation is not only exclusively because of the need to edify the identity of the Haitian child. The second rationale for my presentation is based on the need to edify the African American. Because what has happened, particularly in the post-civil rights era, is that there has been a disconnect from the historical importance African-American intellectuals, historians, and revolutionaries put on the Haitian Revolution and the Haitian history of the Haitian people as a model of freedom upon which to base the political aspirations of African-Americans in the United States that was a consequence of the integrationist move to find a place as co-equals with their oppressors. So, even though my initial purpose is to repair the injustices of some of our Haitian parents, my larger goal is to remind the African American that there is no black liberation without the Haitian Revolution. It doesn't exist. Because the most important point that can really summarize this whole presentation is in one simple thing. Our ancestors would be in shackles today, coming off slave ships from France to the shores of New York, Florida, and West and East Coast, possibly, if it was not for the Haitian Revolution. Not only that, this republic, this political experiment that's called the United States, by the graces of the victory of Jean-Jacques Dessalines over the Napoleon Bonaparte's French colonies, armies, protected the United States from an invasion from France that had already had soldiers of 22,000 soldiers' strength planted in Louisiana to literally invade North America if they had defeated Dessalines' troops after Toussaint Louverture had been captured, to turn the United States and North America into a French republic. So before we even talk about what the African American needs to know about the debt of Haitian freedom fighters to his black liberty, what does the United States of America owe to the Haitian Revolution, if not all of the land it calls its own home as a country? Because what we have to understand as Haitians is that we inappropriately contextualize our revolutionary history relative to the United States. How many Haitians realize that when the Haitian Revolution started in 1791, George Washington was president of the United States? How many Haitians realize that the first 3 presidents of the United States, from George Washington to John Adams to Thomas Jefferson, lived in a contextual and contemporary and real fear of a possibility of the Haitian Revolutionary Army under Toussaint Louverture invading North America? There were only 20,000 some odd soldiers that fought in the American Revolutionary War. Toussaint Louverture had marshaled an army of trained soldiers of 55,000. Gerald Horne, in his wonderful book, Confronting Black Jacobins, states that George Washington was made aware of a plan under Toussaint Louverture's control to possibly take the Haitian Revolutionary Army while they were still fighting the Spanish, the British, and the French, to have them come to North America and take over the Southland. Understand this. What would that have meant to the Haitian American child who was 6 years old, being taunted by his African American and white friends, being called those names, to know that the founder of the American Republic, the man who the Washington Monument is built after, was literally quivering in fear of his Haitian ancestors coming to this country, liberating African slaves, and taking this country over. So when we talk about the relationship of the Haitian Revolution to the African American, perhaps I'd be doing a disjustice to both Haiti and the United States to start at that point. What is the relation of the Haitian Revolution to the United States is the first question, because that relation is based on the fact that there would be none if it was not for the Haitian Revolution. In the context of the African American political leaders, there has not been a time from Nat Turner to Paul Robeson to Du Bois to the Harlem Renaissance when the Haitian Revolution was not in the intellectual psyche and consciousness of African American freedom fighters in this country. It is only with the advent of the integrationist civil rights movement that tried to tamper down the militancy that had developed in the height of the anti-capitalist black liberation struggle in the first part of the 20th century by proposing a capitalist-friendly form of integration, that this connection with the Haitian Revolution as a model is lost, and we learn to adopt to civil rights instead of human rights as a basis for us to demand freedom from people who are not even in the position to give it to us in the first place. So the importance of my presentation is to show that there is not an aspect of American 19th and 20th century history that is not connected to Haiti and its revolution. How many people know that the main reason that the United States entered Haiti in 1915 and tried to colonize the country. But because the United States was afraid of the Germans who were already effectively trading and working with the Haitians on the island, being an obstacle to the building of the Panama Canal. Most Haitians don't know this. They assume the American occupation was some kind of racial ploy of imperialism. It was done because the United States had to make sure that the Europeans that were in Haiti, effectively Haitian, helping the Haitian economy develop, would not be allowed to interfere with the development of the Panama Canal Zone because that trade would be crucial for the United States. How many people, which Gerald Horne explains quite eloquently in his book, know that Nat Turner had Haitian Confederates among him? That Nat Turner was inspired by Toussaint Louverture, contrary to what the recent film we saw about his life documented. How many people know that the Black Panther Party early on was inspired partly by the Haitian Revolution? There's a book that Dr. Lou shared with me that actually documents this. So for me to explain to my African American brothers and sisters is that as a black person, for me, as it should be for all black people, Haitian history is both a shield and a sword. It is a shield in that it protects our psyche from the belief that the European and the white is always in a position where he will dominate ourselves and our history. And it is a sword in that it will teach him that his blood will be spilled if he believes his domination will be accepted forever. Thank you very much.
If there are any questions?
Since nous sommes sortis de là, donc nous raté commencement présentation, donc même t'es intéressé à poser des questions sur la présentation Dr. Joseph. Dr. Joseph, nous sommes j'ai insisté en pile sur premier penseur de l'évolution haïtienne. Et puis bon, comme on connaît moi-même son féministe, donc, on ne peut pas parler de femmes du tout. Donc, est-ce que dans la recherche vous faites dans l'historique et révolution haïtienne, comme si pas de femmes, ou pas je n'ai qu'une fille qui montait dans la recherche ça?
On parlait que filles qui jouaient.
Oui, comme si des rôles majeurs dans la Haitian Revolution, even en tant que as a thinker.
Of course. Mais la présentation, ça que.
English.
For the question is, were there any women thinkers in the era of the Haitian Revolution from 1791 to 1894? And of course, we know there were women soldiers and in the Haitian Revolution. But let me give you an example. For example, Défilé, right? Mm-hmm. You know, she was a soldier. She was a soldier, and she was the one, for example, who, as we know, traditions tell us, who gathered the body of the Saline when the Saline was murdered by a group of his enemies. Also, what happens? There were a group. There's a book I read several years ago. It's called. Oh my gosh, I don't remember the title of the book, but we posted on Facebook when we did, where the author talks about roles, different roles, public roles, and intellectual roles of women in colonial Saint Domingue. And those were like black women and mulatto women, especially mulatto women, because they had the education to do amazing things. For example, en fait que the great Haitian feminist novelist, Marguerite Chauvet, wrote a novel, a historical novel on the Haitian Revolution. En fait, she highlights, she emphasizes roles of women and in that era. But I have in my research, and again, I'm not saying this in any degrading way of the substantial contributions of women in the Haitian Revolution. But it just I have in my studies, in my early research as a young scholar, your dissertation draws a lot of things that you do. Okay, and I have to confess my own patriarchal bias, right? Ideology, right? So because I've been focusing on the contributions of men. Okay, again, by any means, I have silenced the Haitian, the contributions of Haitian women to the revolution. Also the contributions of Haitian women to Haiti's Haitian intellectual history, which is amazing now, we know. In fact, you were one of the Haitian thinkers, feminist thinkers who introduced to us what's her first name? Suzanne Sylvain. Sylvain. One of the most important Haitian thinkers who worked in the same period as Francis Morris.
Yeah.
Very prolific writers. A very prolific writer. I was talking to my wife, and I said, okay, when I was doing my dissertation, I remember I came across her name. Okay? I came across her name because what I was trying to do is to show the connection between the negritude, what's called pre-negritude thinkers who were women, Paulette and Jeanne Nardal, to some Haitian women writers. Although the actors in my dissertation are mostly male, but I came across her work. Again, I have to confess, because of my own patriarchal ideology, I overlooked her contributions. She published a grammar and Creole language, several works, articles on Haitian folktales, Haitian ethnology. She published work on the roles, right? It's the roles, right, of Haitian women in Haitian society. And those works were published, most of those works were published in the first half of the 20th century. But when we talk about Haitian intellectual history, I think we have to think about the actors. Who were they? They were not simply, okay, Baron de Bastille, okay, the father of Haitian intellectual history, or Haitian humanism, or the great Joseph Antonin Firmin, who wrote The Equality of the Human Races in 1885, or talking about Jean-Paul Smash, Jacques-Stéphane Alexis, or Jacques Romain. I think we have to integrate, to study the connections or the contributions of Haitian women to Haitian history. In fact, in the 2-volume book, right, I co-edited with Dr. Nixon Cleofa. We have several chapters on the contributions of women to our understanding of Haitian culture, to be more specific, Haitian Vodou. Okay? So I try to redeem myself here.
We have an online question. Are we going to take a break? Or
Yes, at this time we are going to take a 5-minute break to return with more great presenters, and we will probably take the question when we come back at this time. All right, thank you very much, Dr. Joseph and Dr. Pascal Robert.